Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Our meeting today is to talk about the observation in your class from day before yesterday. Thank you for welcoming me to your classroom. The students were very eager to get the activities that you planned, and I enjoy being able to, witness their excitement about learning. Now, during our time together this afternoon, we're going to discuss the observation and the data collected. And the purpose of that is to collaboratively review the data and to discuss how this informs your teaching. Now, we are also going to co-construct a plan that's going to reflect any adjustments that this data suggests for your teaching and the learning of your students. Okay. Now, I have given you some feedback. Yes. In writing, right after the observation, but what we're going to do is to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts about the lesson. Tell me how you think it went.
Well, one of my goals for this year to improve student achievement is to really refine my questioning techniques. And I think the block you observed went overall pretty well.
Yes, it did.
I tried to use a variety of levels of questioning, and I also tried really hard to give enough wait time following my questions for students to be able to really formulate really thoughtful responses. And I think that went well. I did read the feedback you left to me. Thank you so much. I do agree with you, though. I really did use mostly questions that could pretty easily be answered. One thing I want to do better is to keep my questions in that higher level.
Okay.
I really struggle with questions that can help the students think creatively.
Well, you effectively used a variety of questioning types. I mean, the students were generally responsive and engaged. Now, based on the data collection sheet that I used, during the observation, I basically went over different questions asked, and I collected data on those different types of questions. Okay. And I also collected data on the wait time.
Oh, great.
May I share that with you?
Sure.
Okay. Each time you asked a question, I noted that question, and then in this last column, I did an average of the combined wait times. What does that data tell you?
Well, I certainly asked a lot of questions.
Yes. Well, the data was collected around the goal types of questions and wait time. Which would you like to start with?
How about the types of questions?
Okay.
Well, I noticed I used a lot of basic lower level type questions, and then toward the end I used some middle level questions, but I really thought that I used a lot more higher level questions than I did.
Tell me more.
Well, the activity where they had to create an organism.
Okay.
That's higher level.
Yes.
That analysis level, and they spent a lot more time there at the higher level.
Well, you're accurate there. Your activities were challenging and they required higher level planning and thinking of the students. Now, that's good. Let's consider the difference, though, between what the student is doing and your level of questions.
I never thought about it that way. I really was confusing what the students were doing and then my level of questioning.
And why might you think that that would be confusing?
Well, you keep telling us to focus on what the students are doing.
Right.
What they're being asked to do to really learn this content. And I agree that's important, What I need to think about is how my questioning is helping them to go deeper in their learning.
Right.
Just because they're doing a higher level activity, I still need to be asking those higher level questions.
Yes.
But before the data, I didn't realize that I was kind of stuck in that lower level questions, lower to mid-level questions. And that I need to really balance that as I try to facilitate and guide them through their learning.
Right.
I'm going to take notes about this in my lesson plan.
Okay. So what I think I hear you saying as appropriate, that you're going to focus on asking a variety of questions with higher level order ones. And in doing so, that's going to stimulate higher level thinking in the students. Yeah, is that correct?
Yes, it is. I think I can do that, definitely.
All right, so shall we talk about the wait time next?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, it's very obvious to see that my wait time decreased as the lesson went on.
Yes, it did. Tell me a little bit about why you think that may have happened.
Well, the increased wait time kind of encouraged some students to come off task, and I felt I needed to shorten it a little to help them stay engaged and stay focused throughout the lesson. And then, of course, as you saw, they were blurting out answers and forgot to raise their hands.
Well, do you have any ideas as to how you may make the students stay engaged and attentive during that wait time?
I could have them in groups, maybe, and I can ask the group to answer the question instead of, the variation where you ask an individual. And I can also reinforce raising your hands as a rule. They have to do that.
Those are very good solutions. You've been very reflective on ways to improve the wait time and the questioning. So let's review what we have decided.
Okay.
All right, first you're going to make a note in your lesson plans to cue you to make higher level types of questions. And then you're going to try the strategies of asking questions to a small group rather than an individual. And you're going to enforce the rule that they must raise their hands when it's appropriate to the activity. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, I have an action plan, and I'd like to leave a copy with you with all that information in it. I've also provided you with the link to a website that has great ideas about how to keep students engaged, and also it's going to include information on strategies for appropriate wait times. And I believe you're going to find it helpful.
That's great.
So, do you have anything else that you want to mention or any questions?
No, I think we've covered it, and I really appreciate you helping me think through this and your action plan and your website. I'm really excited about really putting these strategies into practice in my classroom.
Okay, well, I enjoyed spending time in your classroom, and I enjoyed listening to you come up with ways to improve student learning.
Thank you.
I have high expectations of you, and I know you can do it. So I look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, great.
Okay.